right? So that you will catch up with what has been discussed yesterday, right? And then you should be able to refer what we have discussed in the previous class. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. Okay, as part of that, what I will do, I will maintain a Word document which would be shared with all of you. Okay, so the first and foremost is we will see how we can uh, have this class, right? Some basics of how we would talk to each other and how when you can ask certain questions in the chat or in the voice based, right? Let's put that one. Let me increase the font slightly. Okay, first thing is you can connect with me over chat, okay? Or at the end of the session, right? Probably we'll allocate 5 minutes. Okay, probably we'll see based on the frequency of questions or frequency of different people want to talk, then we can increase or decrease this particular time. But at the end of the session, we'll allocate 5 minutes to talk over voice. Okay, that means I will enable certain whoever wanted to talk, I will enable voice for you so that you can ask your queries. Okay, because if we enable multiple people, I know you have a lot of enthusiasm to ask certain questions and all, but with the interest of time, with the interest of a lot of people joining in, so we will control this way. Okay, I hope this is fine, but you keep on asking your questions in the chat. I'll be around 15 minutes or 30 minutes duration. I'll check your chat and I'll try to address your questions. Okay. The second one is whom I can reach out to, right? If you have any queries, right? If you have any queries related to the, let's say you need course content, right? Or you need access, right? Or let me write course content or access to the class, right? Or the video recordings of the class or payment of the course, right? So any of these admin related, right? I will display certain names. You can reach out to those people. Okay. So Lina ma'am, she is absolutely from admin team and Arif is the admin, right? So you can message Arif also if you face some connectivity issues. Are there any specific issues? You can reach out to either of these numbers. Okay. Let me copy this also to the this so that you can have this reference with you. Okay. So the next thing is when is the class, right? Sorry if because a lot of people joined today, so I would be covering certain things, certain whereabouts or about the class. I would be discussing as part of this. Okay, please bear with me who joined yesterday and today also. Okay, class will be from Monday to Friday and Saturday you have hands-on or assignments or mini projects. Okay, or assignments. Okay, I'll be conducting certain exams also as part of assignment so that you can write those certain assignments so that our people will evaluate and give you the scores also. Okay, so Monday to Friday, probably let me put this way, Monday to Friday, live class, right? And Saturday, You have this. And coming to the timing, it is from 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. IST. Okay, probably we will start initially to allow somebody to join, but going forward we would start sharply at 8 and I try to end sharply by 9:30 unless you have any questions at the end. Okay, probably let's take plus or minus 5 or 10. Okay, so and then what is the duration of this course? So it is from 3 to 3.5 months, but I'll try to cover it up mostly by 3 months because I know in 1 2 months only there would be a lot of changes coming in AI space, right? So how fast we can cover these topics so that you can cope up with the new topics coming in the market, right? But if somebody needs very detailed, right, allow me to take that particular time to deep dive into those topics and explain you very detailed explanation around those topics. Okay, so mostly you can say it is 3 months, but it plus or minus certain days. Okay, clear. And then yesterday a lot of people asked about prerequisites also. Okay, so programming language wise, Python is a must because the whole all the sessions will be taught in Python. Okay, but I have seen a lot of people coming up with requests, sir, I don't have a Python background, but I have some programming background, right? So how could I cope up with? Probably that's where I am planning to give 3 4 sessions so that you can cope up with that Python also, because initially it is not part of my course content, but as a lot of people coming in, even some people try to ping yesterday that they wanted to understand certain basics of Python, which is minimal for to understand this course, right? I'll give you a quick thing and then I'll give you some resources where you can find and explore by yourself. Okay, and then if you have a neural network experience, it is optional, but it is an added advantage to understand the concept very deep and better. Okay, so these are the prerequisites for you. If you don't know anything else, we will try to address. If you know something about software engineering, right, like API, right, or creating certain web services, right, because this mostly we will be integrating with lot of open AI, Claude or Gemini different. And then somebody was asking Bedrock, somebody was asking Azure AI Foundry, right? These are all just APIs, right? A lot of APIs are being exposed by the different firms, right? We would be using those APIs or models to how to access those models. Those are APIs. Yesterday I gave a brief about what is API, but mostly I expect this group to be aware of what is API and how to connect with that API, but we will discuss how to create those APIs. Okay, so if you know these things, probably if you know some very basics of database, that is a plus for you, but it is not a must here. Okay, hopefully you have these prerequisites. Okay, and then Python probably I'll take few sessions to just to cover the very basic, because a lot of people may not know the basics also, then they might struggle a little to understand certain basic concepts. So I would cover a high level Python. Okay, but that is not part of my course, but as a lot of requests are coming in, I would like to cover that as well. Okay, and then yesterday what we have covered the contents of the course. Okay, so let me pull that up. I would be sharing this particular content with you. Okay, or I'll ask admin to share with you. I think yesterday admin has shared the WhatsApp group also. Please join the WhatsApp group. So Arif, if you are in the same, yeah, if you see. This is the WhatsApp group. Let me copy this also as part of this so that you can refer later. Arif has already pasted the WhatsApp group here. You can join the WhatsApp group. Initially, I would share the this course content, other details in this particular WhatsApp group. Okay, clear, all of you? Let me take certain questions if somebody might have certain questions. Yeah, prerequisites, Rakesh, I have covered. Let me see from the start. I don't want to miss. Okay, okay. Can you please share Zoom link if possible? I think Arif might have shared Krishna. I think if not, you just call Arif for the links. Okay. Probably if you join the WhatsApp group, probably they might help you with the links or there in the WhatsApp group. Okay, great. Subrata Rana, you have followed the previous class in the YouTube. That's great. Probably that would be one more way you how you could cover day one. If you want to cover the contents of the course, you can refer to this particular YouTube. Thanks, Subrata Rana. Sorry if I pronounce the names incorrectly. Don't scold me or curse me. Okay. I'm getting echo in a delay of 2 seconds. Ganeshan, I'm not sure. Probably if anybody else is also facing the issue, just keep in the chat. I'll try to see from my side, but I have a good setup with me. But ideally, it shouldn't be from my side. Just check from your side. Okay. If not, I'll try to adjust from my side. Okay, Ajay, I'll quickly cover the course content. Just give me a few minutes. I'm trying to address certain questions. I have question when possible. Please unmute me. Nikhil, sure, as I mentioned, right, we will follow this one. Definitely, you will get an opportunity at the end of the class to speak or okay, just ping me. I will enable your voice. I hope you understand, right? There are a lot of people joining in with the interest of time and other people convenience. We have made certain arrangements. Course content I'd shortly share. Don't worry. Your network will also cover. So Mayank, it would be little hard. It may extend a little further because certain people may come up with a target of completing this course in certain time frame, right? But I'll try to see if at all certain Saturdays or certain days, if I could cover a neural network things, I would cover. But we'll see how it goes. Can we learn agentic AI without learning generative AI? So the answer is probably a no, you can't learn because generative AI is the one which gives you the foundation for agentic. So you use the generative AI in agentic. Probably in today's class, that's what I will be discussing. What is generative AI, what is agentic AI, and how these two are related and how these two are different also. Okay, Bhavya, this would be very good course for you to get a job, provided you have enough background on either Python or data science or machine learning. It would definitely help you a lot. Okay, even if you don't have, it will work for you. Around 80 to 85% you should be able to grasp, but this is an advanced course which is targeting for advanced people. So you may try to struggle for 15%, but provided if you keep your into high and then try to work towards the classes, I think you should be able to cope up with that 15% also. But understand this is not the basic thing, right? Like we are not teaching a basic Python here because a lot of people came with expectation of learning generative and agentic AI with the real time projects and doing a lot of real time mini projects. Okay, so I think more or less this is what a lot of people are asking. Let me quickly cover the course content. I hope you know what details you need, right, regarding the course and whom to connect, right, and how we would be managing this call so that it is. So I set the protocol now, right? What is the protocol? So now you know protocol is a rule set, how we can conduct or how we can communicate, right? This is nothing but a protocol. This will help you to understand when we talk about MCP, right? What is a protocol? What is a rule? How you can talk to the system? That is nothing but protocol. This is a protocol, what we have set for our class. Okay, so let me pull that course. Okay, this is the full end-to-end course content. Okay, I'll quickly cover. I won't go deep. Sorry, because some people who joined yesterday, we need to value their time also, right? But I need to value who joined today also. So I'd be covering at a very high level, but you can refer the YouTube video that will be shared in the WhatsApp channel so that you can refer to that particular video also if you want to understand the details of the course content. But let me cover the high level. At the high level, we will be discussing what is generative AI, what is agentic, what is the core difference and what is the dependency on each other, how it differs from each other also. Right? We should understand that deeply because whenever somebody asks you what is generative and what is agentic AI, even if you know everything, if you can't explain that core ideology or idea, right, people may devalue your knowledge, right? And then we will be discussing what is the core component which helps the generative AI, which is nothing but LLM. The full form of LLM is L is large, L is language, M is a model. Large language model. Those models are heavily trained on very huge data sets. That's why it is called large language. It is trained on language models. Okay, let me give you an example, right? So in your childhood, what they might have done. So they start with ABC, right? And then they'll teach you how to write words, right? APPLE, apple and all. And then your mother and father might have clapped when you said APPLE apple, right? Then you start with your forming certain sentences, and then you learn the grammar. Then you try to write the sentence, right? Sentence or paragraph, and then you will try to write a story, right? Similarly, models also need to learn the basics of a language first, right? So how it will learn the language, right? And how it knows the constructs of the language. Then we will train for a specific task. Like it could be writing a story, it could be writing an email, it could be writing some summary of the thing or reading comprehension. These are all different tasks what we train the LLM, right? So we'll understand those basics of how the LLMs are, what the data it needs, right? How the LLMs would be able to consume the data to get trained. All of that we will discuss here. And the certain bare backbone of the whole LLM system, the architecture, what we will be discussing very extensively, the transformed architecture. I am telling you today in the interview, without transformed architecture, I can say there are no interviews for a specific to generative AI and agentic AI. 90 to 95% interviews would not happen without asking a questions around a transformer architecture or a concepts of transformer architecture. Full stop. That's all. If you don't know transformed architecture, it is highly unlikely that you get a job, especially in generative and agentic AI. Okay, that much vital it is to know. So that's how I have designed this course in a such a way. What are the maximum coverage for to get a job in an interview, right? That's how I have designed this course. Okay, and coming up with the next module is working with LLMs. What are different things? What are different platforms we have? What are the LLMs like? What are available? What are not available? How you can access them? All of that will be covered and different varieties of LLMs. Okay, and then the prompt engineering. Now you have the LLM, but you need to control the LLM, right? Let's say you have trained your kid, okay, to play certain game, but you will put some rules, right? Okay, you play within this box. If you put a goal, you should hit that ball in that particular net. All of the roles you will control. Let's say you and there are certain rules or certain levers how you control your play. Like that LLM also you are controlling certain levers so that it will work better for your use cases, right? And what are the different aspects will be part of that is nothing but this particular module. Okay, and we will be try to do how you can quickly build certain chatbot systems by using more prominent in the market. Okay, and then I will try to cover certain people who are asking Bedrock and AI Foundry. Probably those are nothing but the model. Let's say if you say Azure AI Foundry, right? They are using the backend OpenAI models only. Azure doesn't have a specific models by themselves unless there are very small models like Pi or some certain models from Microsoft, but majorly they are using OpenAI models only, right? It is just that it is hosted on their own cloud. That's all, right? And then I would be covering a RAG model. So generally LLM has certain intelligence, but it has to answer from the current knowledge, right? For example, if you ask, what is my daily routine? LLM, how does it know? It doesn't know what is your daily routine, right? Or what I do in the afternoon, what I have eaten in my lunch. It doesn't know about what you have eaten, right? You have to give some additional context to the model. That's what will be designed in the RAG. Okay. Now coming to the end at enterprise level, let's say I am building a banking system. Every banking system will have their own rule set. For example, Axis Bank will have an interest rate of 7.6. Okay. ICICI Bank might have an interest rate of 7.8, right? But that knowledge your LLM might not have, right? Some additional content has to be provided to your LLM to answer those kind of questions. Let's say somebody asked, what is the interest rate for home loan? But if you're targeting Axis, it will say 7.6. If you design the system for ICICI, it will give you 7.8, right? That additional context, how the model will get, that is nothing but RAG. And to certain use cases, you need to create some advanced RAG systems to support very sophisticated or very advanced or very accurate systems. So that's why there are different types of RAG systems, right? And then one of the RAG system is graph. So graph will enable you to maintain the relationship. Okay. Sometimes you might be wondering in ChatGPT, you say, if my son, somebody, sometimes there may be some question, right? What your grandfather's son's daughter, how it becomes to you, what she would become, what she would be for you, right? So that questions you need to build some kind of hierarchy. Then only you could able to answer, right? As ChatGPT or any underlying model for ChatGPT trained on such things, they are able to answer. But for the additional context, if you need to build certain hierarchies, then the graph kind of a structures would help better. Okay, for example, I say, who is my reporting manager, or to whom my reporting manager reports to, right? They might have built some organizational structure, right? Like let me write on the screen also. Just give me a moment. Okay, organizational structure is like your CEO, and then CEO might have maybe CTO also at the same level, but some generally CTO reports to CEO. CEOs, or you can say MD, right? So a lot of things are there, or all the CXOs. CXO means you replace X with some other things like COO, CDO, CTO, all of that, right? That's why they call it as a CXO level. CXO means at a chief level. Okay, and then some hierarchy, some other hierarchy, some other hierarchy, right? If you can build this hierarchy in a graph, it makes more sense. Okay, let me put one more example for you. Okay, because I am injecting ideas in your brain, right? Let's say I have a page. Okay, page will have a content and you have a table. In the same page you have a table, right? And the same page you have an image also, right? Certain image. Now, rather than storing these individually in some database and try to pull this one, it might be hard to maintain whether this particular image belongs to this text or this image belongs to some table or not. Else, I will set up in a graph. Okay, this is a page one. In the page one, these are the components. This is a text, this is the image, and this is the table. And then I will map this table to this image also. Right? Now I am setting a hierarchy. Now if I search for certain image or a text, it can pull the image also. Okay, that kind of a setup. Okay, let me show you one example in practice also. Let's say I open Perplexity. Okay, a lot of people know the Perplexity now because they are going on the front foot. They're giving so many ads, right? I never saw a IT company giving ad, right? These days, IT companies also coming up with ads and all. So now when I type get me best material for Python. Okay, for example, I have typed this one. Let me minimize this. Okay. So along with this, it is pulling up the resources and then it usually bring the videos and then certain other material also. Here it is, I think they have stopped showing the videos. Earlier to present certain videos over here also, which pointing to that specific thing, right? So they might have set up in a such a way that to pull this data in a more efficient way. They might have set up in a graph. And you know, YouTube works on a graph database in the backend. Okay. I think they are using a Neo4j, which is a database. YouTube works on a graph database. That's where you, whenever you search for one single video, that's all gone. Your life is screwed, right? You keep on getting the same video recommendations. Maybe there are recommendation engines also, but their data is aligned in kind of a graph. Okay. Don't know what is their actual implementation inside, but usually as a concept, that's what people keep on telling. Okay. Next one is a module 8 LangChain, which is nothing but a framework, because here when you want to configure all of this, right, you need to write code manually. Rather, if I can start with some framework or some base work, I can start from there rather than starting from the ground up. Ground up means from a scratch. I need not to start from the scratch. I can start, but I need to learn certain framework so that I can start and then expedite my work. That's why enterprises are expecting you should know these frameworks so that when you join, they need not to wait for 3-4 months to develop certain applications, right? Because they expect the people to be ready with these particular knowledge so that they can get started rather than working from the core by using these topics, right? You should use some framework to kickstart that particular project pretty fast. Right now, then agentic AI principles, like what is agentic AI, what frameworks are there, what different types of agentic frameworks are there, all that we'll be discussing, and then certain topics of design principles also we'll be discussing as part of this. Then the Lang graph, which is more related to agentic AI framework. LangChain is more generic in terms of building generative application or generic solutions, but LangGraph is targeting majorly for agentic AI frameworks. Okay, and then on top of it, MCP, as I initially described, protocol, how you set the rules to communicate. So they also set up certain architectures, how you can communicate to the outside world when you need certain data. For example, I want to know what is the weather, right? Or let's say you want to fetch certain details from a GitHub, right? LLM doesn't have a GitHub, all the GitHub repositories knowledge, right? So you will write certain things. I can't tell now because you need to understand certain basics to know. But just imagine I have two systems. Let me write on the board. Okay. So let's say this is your AI system, which doesn't know anything about, let's say, Apollo hospitals. Okay. So now, but you are designing a system which needs certain information from Apollo hospitals, right? So how do you go? Either if they supply some API, you can hit this particular API, right? But you have to manually write to hit this API and get the information. But with the support of MCP server, if Apollo's hospitals gives me the MCP server, my LLM will take the call whether to call this particular MCP or not by using MCP client. Okay, anyway, we'll discuss deeply into this. I'm just giving a high level. Okay, so that's how this NCP works, but it's a common protocol how you can communicate with the external systems. Okay, and then agent to agent communication. So within the agent, within the system, sorry, solution or application or solution, you need to write different agents. Okay, let's say if you are building a hotel management, so you might write one is for rooms booking, other one is for food serving, right? Other one is for some party arrangement, right? Or the customer support. There are multiple agents who will be working, but they shouldn't be working in silos. They need to communicate to each other to work more effectively. That's what nothing but this agent to agent communication, even that relates to our daily life. Okay, how we will set up like manager to worker. That means manager will direct how the workers has to work, or peer to peer. Okay, everybody will collaborate and then do as a one framework. Both needs to be discussed as a patterns. And then these two are the very advanced topics. Okay, that's where I told if you know the neural networks, it will help you to understand bit deeply into these two modules. One is how to fine tune your model. So mostly you would be able to understand how the model will learn and when you need actually the fine tuning, right? Always you don't need fine tuning with a prompt. That means how you set the rules in this module, right? More or less 70% of the use cases with the prompt engineering, your problem may get solved because LLMs are very large enough to understand lot many things. Okay, but certain use cases still might need fine tuning. That's where we do fine tuning. In fine tuning also there are a lot of variants of fine tuning. We will discuss a little elaborately, not little, very deeply, discussing when to do the fine tuning, when to do the training, when to do the what are different types of fine tuning. All of that we'll be discussing. Okay, and then model serving, how you deploy these models in a platform agnostic way, right? So that you can deploy your models anywhere in the world, even in your own servers or in your any cloud-based systems also. And then we discussed about these capstone projects. Just go through these capstone projects. These are self-explanatory, and then you can pick any of the capstone project. At least one is a must for you, right? Or if you want to do everything based on the level of the course completion, I'll start this capstone so that you keep on doing wherever you have any queries and all, we keep on collaboratively work on these capstones and finish these capstone projects. Okay, as I mentioned, apart from these capstone projects, every Saturday either you will be given assignments, mini projects, hands-on, right, or any other different sessions would be part of your Saturdays, or exams could also be part of your Saturday. So don't think exams are some way to pressurize you. But unless we have some validation mechanism, you may not be knowing where you are, right? That's what I need. One more a guidance from my side. Okay. If I teach you for 1.5 hours, simple guideline is you need to do at least 2x of homework. It's not a homework, probably I'll say practice. Okay, this is a very basic guideline. Okay, you must do. If you miss someday, you try to figure out on some other day. But to cope up to get to the job, right? You need to spend this particular 2x. Unless in an interview you may face a lot of challenges, right? Because you might be knowing at the end of the day you say, "Sir didn't tell me this particular topic," because you might forget if you don't practice on a daily basis, right? This is general guideline. It's a thumb rule. If you can spend 3x, right? I guarantee you that you get a job in between the course itself. Okay, that much of deep we'll go on each topic and we'll cover it from a very basic so that your ground will be very strong. right? Provided you have these prerequisites. Is it clear, all of you? Let me take some questions. What is a capstone? So generally projects is one where I will give you the explanation of the project, take you to the what you call and we'll do it together. But capstone is generally you will start doing the project, okay, and then execute that particular project. Wherever you stuck, then I will try to help you out. But generally capstones are for the student to execute, and then when you are facing certain problems, you will come to me or come to the lab assistant. One more point I forgot to tell you. So for you, you have a lab availability, means the machines will be from your side only. You have to get your own machine, but lab assistants will be available. Okay, so you will be given certain connects with the lab assistants also, and you will be guided how you can reach out to these lab assistants, because if you are virtual, as you are virtual, right? Because offline people generally they come to the place, so they can reach out to lab assistants. But as you are virtual, so you will be given a virtual lab assistant to whom you can reach out to, because I may not be available round the clock, right? So they will be part of your learning journey, right? And then we will keep on discussing. And there are a lot of channels, right? So you have a WhatsApp channel, and then probably I'll tell you how. Uh, so if you go right, so here you will find a classroom. It is a part of Google only, one of the Google tool. If you come here in the classroom, so one of the class will be shown for you like this. If you click on this, you'll be entering inside the class. This is where I'll be communicating and I'll be posting certain assignments. Right, in the classwork, I'll be giving certain assignments, certain tests, or certain material. All of that would come into your classwork. If there are any certain announcements, they will be doing the announcements here. Okay, so here let me write it in the document. You have Google Classroom for material, right? Announcements, right? Tests or assignments also, or assignments. Okay, clear all of you? Any queries? If you have any queries, let me know. I'm checking the chart now before proceeding with today's session. I am from USA and don't have basics about AI. Shall I take this course, Naresh? As I mentioned, if you have those prerequisites, please, or else I advise you to take the data science and machine learning course along with the basics of Python and other nuances of AI. Okay, because I can tell you, you join this one, you will get everything, right? But being honest, so this is advanced AI course. Obviously, you need certain basics. Okay. Do we have GenAI developer and GenAI admin roles in the market? What do you mean by admin roles? I am not sure, RFB, but yes, GenAI developer, there are lot many job market. If you put your resume with AI and generative AI, there is a huge market. Don't know how long this will stay, but at least now there is a huge buzz in the market. What are the hardware requirements to execute the code? A great question, Anurag. So one thing is, you know, this AI is little bit expensive, generative and agentic, okay, because it deals with the LLMs, right? The first and foremost tool you must have is nothing but a Google Colab, which is free for all of you if you have a Google account. Okay. Okay. Let me quickly. Okay. Let me. Okay, so this one you will be having access to, right? And then here they will be assigning certain GPUs for you. Okay, for our small workloads it may work, but if you want to go for 800 GPU L4 GPUs or any other GPUs, you can buy a paid version also. Or okay, this is only needed when you will have your own open source model. Okay, but you don't need always the open source model. We will be discussing when you need open source, when you need closed source. Closed source means something like OpenAI or Azure or AWS, how they have, right, managed services. Those closed sources you might need certain access, right? So that's where I have Gemini AI Studio. I advise to go with Gemini AI Studio. Okay, if you are a student, okay, they are giving 1 year for free. Okay, all the features, all the functionalities they are giving for free. But even you are not a student, you can go and register for this. There are certain things are free. Okay, let me click on this pricing. Okay, so what you get as a free, you will get the Gemini API for free, right? But there are certain restrictions obviously when it is for free, and your data will be used for model trainings also. Okay, and then if you want to go for certain paid versions, you can go for it. It's up to you. And then they have clearly mentioned which model is free in free tier and what functionalities will be available as part of free. Okay, this is one thing which is very good, because though you don't buy, you could able to use the Gemini to certain extent. Okay, but OpenAI you might not have that flexibility. But OpenAI, okay, I hope you know OpenAI. What is OpenAI? Okay, so, but I'll explain you. Somebody might not have what is OpenAI also. OpenAI is a firm who started with a chat GPT, right? I don't think nobody in this group at least don't know chat GPT. Okay, so this is the interface where you could be able to ask questions, right? So that it will answer you back with your questions. Okay, so the company which designed this chat GPT and the underlying models, GPT models. Okay, we'll discuss what is GPT and all, but I am simply making some assumption that you would know these things. Okay, if you go to OpenAI platform, so if once you register for this, they will give you some credits. Credits means they will give you, for example, 500 rupees, or based on the dollars, they will give you some amount. Till you consume that amount, you can use these APIs. But after that one, you need to pay or you need to dump some money into this particular platform to use it. Okay. Similarly, it could be same if you go to Azure platform. Okay. Azure portal, it is called Azure portal. Even Azure portal also similar way you need to buy the services. Okay. So you can buy, or you try to use some open, means free APIs for your consumption. It's up to you how you want to use, but I would be covering all the prominent platforms to consume certain models. Okay. Clear? Okay, so now let's get started. What is today's topic, right? Sorry to ask, I missed the part of the class just searching Naresh website. Got the course coming to my experience. I have 14 years industry experience. I got get Copilot certified and aware of Copilot Java using formula. Please suggest. I have more 14 years industry experience and I am GitHub Copilot certified. I am aware of Copilot bots for using Power Platforms. Please suggest. So you wanted to take this course or not? That's what your question, right? For you, it will be a much more apt course, Naresh, provided I hope you know certain basics of Python. Okay. Thanks for your response. Another quick question. I am not aware of neural networks. Can I cope up with the course learning them parallelly? Can you please provide some references? Yes, Anurag. It will be much more easy for you if you know the other than neural networks also. As I told, right, 80% of the course content you can easily understand if you have the other Python and the some basics about software engineering. Yes. it is very useful for you. Okay, so let's go to the course content. Course content means what is the topic for today, right? We couldn't able to cover because a lot of new team has joined. We have to discuss what are the basics of a class and how we conduct the class, and then what is the content of the class. Okay, so let's pick up the first topic of the course. Okay, the first and foremost, you need to know what is generative AI in first place, right? And then agentic AI and all. First, let's cover the generative AI. What is generative AI for you? Okay, how many of you don't know the chat GPT? Please tell me. If you don't know chat GPT, just say you don't know chat GPT so that I can give a reference. Okay, B Kumar, you have audio problem. Please check from your side. Hope all the other people have enough audio connect. Okay, hopefully, thank God nobody has responded. Okay, you all know ChatGPT. Okay, let's make it this. Uh, let's make this session interactive, right? Through the chat mechanism. Okay, no ChatGPT, but didn't use. Okay, Nikhil, the first thing you do, you open chatgpt.com and register yourself. Or without registration also you can open this one. Okay, so you can ask any question, right, to the matter. Let's say, who is the, what I should ask? Who is the uh, no, I don't ask the this one. How to learn Python and suggest best course content and references. Okay, I just asked this. Okay, see, it is giving you a plan also. What you should do to learn Python. The phase one is the foundations you need to learn and how long it may take for you. What all will should be covered as part of this. And then phase two, phase three. See, everything is being given by the chat GPT. Okay. So how it is doing? So observe something, right? See how it is printing. It is printing word by word or certain words, right? Right? You have seen it is printing word by word, right? Word by word or sentence by sentence. So what it is doing, it is, let's say, let me write on the screen. Okay, where my pointer is. Okay, so this one. Let's say if the build is coming, the next word it is predicting. What would be the next word? Build small. Okay. What after build small coming in, then what is it predicting? It is predicting projects. After these words come, then it is predicting regularly, and then the dot, and then it predicting next line, right? And then this one, this one, this one. Like that, it is keep on predicting the next words. Okay. There are certain terminology I will bring in slowly. Generally, we call it as a token, but at this point of time, you understand that as a word. Okay, with that regular terminology. Then in other terminology, what I can say, is it generating text? Isn't it? It's generating text one by one, right? How it has learned to how it is generating the text, that we will learn later. But just understand, is it in generating the text for you in this case? Let's say I have asked, probably I'll open one more platform. Okay, this is also a wonderful platform, Claude. How many of you heard Claude? Have you heard about Claude? Okay, okay, cool. A lot of people have heard. Okay, Claude is like a one more interface where it will allow you to chat with it and get the information what you need, right? So Claude is from a company called Anthropic. Okay, let me write on the screen. Okay, this has developed this one. The underlying models are these. Okay, Opus 4.1, Sonnet 4.5, Haiku 4.5. So these are the underlying models. By using these models, this Claude platform is working. Claude is not a model. Claude is a platform. Underlying models are these. Okay. Similarly, for ChatGPT also, ChatGPT is a platform. Underlying models are GPT. Let me write. So it started from GPT 1.0, 2.0, 3.5, 4. Next, they are releasing slowly because till that point they have advanced very fast. After this one, they are increasing very slow, like 4.1, and then they have released different versions also. O mini, something like they have a different models which supports ChatGPT. Okay, which is designed by OpenAI. This is a company which designed ChatGPT, right? Which uses the models to create this particular platform, right? ChatGPT as a platform. Similarly, in this case, Anthropic is the firm, okay, and then they have built the platform called Claude, right? They are using these models like Sonnet 4.5 or Opus, different other models. Okay, so majorly this Claude works very well with the code. Okay, this models, this Claude or Sonnet models better work for the code. Okay, a lot of times when even I stuck, rather than asking in OpenAI, I come to Claude and ask in Claude. The better solution always, for me at least, comes from the Claude than OpenAI or ChatGPT. If you want to try, you can try also. Okay. So this is one more. Here also you can ask same question. Let me ask the same question over here. How it will give you the content. Let's see. Probably some advanced users you may feel this is very basic, right? But just bear with me because we have a different personas in this class, right? I have to cover all the personas because somebody are very basic at the learning, right? Somebody might be middle, somebody might be advanced, somebody might be very advanced. Okay, please allow me to take everybody to certain stage. Then from there we will all go together. Okay, so this is where this is also giving you the similar way, right? So now coming back to our core concept, it is generating the text word by word, or I am introducing a word called token. We will cover what is the token, but just understand token. Okay. So this is one way by looking at the text. Let's come to the image part. Okay. Let me see whether they have added the capabilities here. Can you generate an image of a boy playing football? Okay. It is telling I am not able to generate thing because the capability they have not added as part of this, but certain uh, platforms may generate image also. But let's say let's come to the image also. But in the image case, it is little different. What I am doing in case of text, I am giving a text and I am generating a text, right? Either by word or whatever means, right? I am generating text. But in case of image, there are two possibilities because there are two variations, right? One is image. If I give image, ask it to explain this image, it will generate the text, right? And then if you give a text, to generate an image, it will generate an image, right? Two variants, because these two modalities or formats are different. One is the image format, other one is the text format, right? So this is also a generative AI. You are generating an image by using a text. Okay. Generally, whenever you involve text, we call it as a NLP. Okay. What is NLP? NLP is natural language processing. Okay. It means you are processing the language, which is a natural, and then give you the corresponding output, whatever is needed. Okay. Basically, NLP means processing that particular language. Okay. So that is nothing but NLP. So NLP is a sub part of generative AI, right? Because you need to analyze the text to generate something, right? So NLP will be used as part of generative AI. But I hope you understand the basic concept. Generative AI is nothing but you are generating either text or an image or a video also, right? Any modality. Let's say if I give text, it can generate a image. Okay. If I can give a, sorry, not image, video. If I say video, if I give video, it can generate a text, right? That's what you will be seeing. You when you give a YouTube video, it can explain what is there in the video. It's not subtitle. Subtitle is different from generating text from a video. Don't get confused. Subtitles are mimicking what is being spoken in the video, right? But the generating text might be as equivalent to subtitle, because you can create a text for the full video, or you can get the high level video what the video is all about, right? That kind of stuff you can generate. Or sometimes what they're doing, even they are giving an image, right? From the image they are trying to generate a video by describing something. That means they will give a text also. Let's say I'll give you an image. I'll say that, can you make this image saying the image should, the person in this image should uh, generate a video like look like a playing a football in some certain ground, right? It can generate a video also, right? So the models are growing bigger and bigger to handle very complex instructions of the language or the modalities, right? By using the concept called generative AI. So by the way, do you know what is AI? How many of you know the full form of AI? Does anyone know AI? What is AI? Don't know? Don't tell me you know, don't know. Augmented intelligence? Lakshmi Prasad? Wow, Lakshmi Prasad has gone a little. Augmented is a next level of artificial intelligence, basically. Augmentation is you develop something out of something else. Means, let's say if you have a picture, right? You tilt the picture, or you from the blur picture, you will generate an actual image. You are augmenting, you are enhancing that, right? That is augmented. But generally, AI means artificial intelligence. Okay, Aam Aadmi. Wow, Rakesh, Aam Aadmi intelligence. Okay. So AI intelligence is not Aam Aadmi. Yeah, it's becoming expensive day by day, because people like us expecting more pay hikes. If you know AI, right? Obviously, it is becoming more costly. Okay, great. So by the way, AI means artificial intelligence, right? Generative artificial intelligence. I am using intelligence which is built artificially, right? Because if you look at my intelligence, the human brain, which is a natural, right? You need not to be trained, means you need to be trained, obviously, but the God-given gift is the intelligence, right? The human intelligence. So you are using that, but rather here I am building certain intelligence from the known content, right? And I'm trying to generate something new which may exist, which may not exist. Okay, I'm generating a new content. So that is nothing but a generative AI. As simple as that. Right? I hope you have all got a pretty clear understanding of what is generative AI. Right? Okay. So now let's go to the little next level. Okay. Now I have asked what is the temperature today in New York. Okay. What is the temperature in New York? Please watch the screen very clearly. Okay. When I do this, what is being shown on the screen, please see. Please watch. Probably let me zoom also. Okay. So I am typing, I am sending, probably let me click enter. See, what it is doing. It told searching web. Okay. But unfortunately, it is telling it couldn't able to fetch the temperature. It's their problem, not our problem. But what we have, whenever we ask the temperature in New York, right? The model doesn't know what is the temperature in New York, right? Obviously, today what is happening, but it has to search in some weather platform or somewhere in the verb. That means it is acting, right? Now let me write on the screen. Pay attention, please. Okay, you can ask question. Don't get excited if the question is not answered at that point, but I will address all your question. But focus on what I have been telling you. This is very important. Let's say you are generating some content using AI. How you build AI, we will discuss, but we are using certain intelligence to generate a content. But generation content, it cannot act, right? Because what act it has done, it has gone to certain website and went to the website and it searched website, right? And it searched and pulled the temperature, right? Given back to your AI system saying this is the temperature, let's say 36 degrees centigrade. Then generative AI use that particular information to give you the final generation of text, right? What additional you are doing? You are trying to say you act on certain things if you don't have that information. You are telling it explicitly. You go and act on this, right? You go on, act and fetch that information. That's what you are telling here. You wanted this to act. So now you say, let's say now I will give you one more example. Let me change the color. Now let's pick up one more example. Example 2. Okay. Now I will say, get me, like for example, course for data science and machine learning, right? So get me a course of ES and machine learning. It need not to search for somewhere else, but it might have different levels. For example, if you ask me about DS and machine learning, for example, as a trainer, right? I give you at a certain level, for example, level 5. If you ask somebody like a student, right? Or some rather than student, for example, at this point of time, somebody who is working, right? They might be knowing only limited areas, right? Because as a trainer, and plus I am working also. So I've been working in the IT from past 20 years, right? I know a lot of experiences from enterprise, plus how I know how to present to the students in a consumable way, right? I'll mix up those things and I put it as a one course content. Who is working, they might put it at the level 4, for example. Like that, for each persona or each profile based, they will bring up their own level of content, right? So now the focus here is you are assigning certain role to perform a task. Either it can be from the inherent intelligence or to act and get that particular information. It doesn't matter, but you are assigning certain role to your intelligence to play, right? So that role, you can say you play the role of data scientist and solve this particular problem, or you play the role of some other and you solve the problem, right? Or let's say one more example, example 3. Write a story about Delhi, right? You might have known, right? Let's say whenever in our childhood, whenever they send us to a trip, they after coming back from the trip, they give you the homework saying describe about your trip. Then we used to say like, "Arey, why you have taken us? Who asked you to take us? And why you are asking me to write?" Right? But let's say Delhi. Let's say if you are a student, you may write like something. But if you are very enthusiastic or an author about writing something, you may write a different level, right? So here you are assigning a role for your intelligence, how you can perform that particular task, right? So that is nothing but your agent. Okay. What is nothing but agent? So you are assigning certain specific role to perform to get that specific task to be done. Okay. Using what? Using AI. Okay. Artificial intelligence. You are creating certain role to your intelligence to perform certain task. This is nothing but your AI agent. Okay. Here you are not, you are simply generating. You are not assigning any role or you are not giving any specific instruction. You are giving instruction, but you are not specifically telling what to be done and how you need to perform it. You will be giving certain additional insights to perform how to perform that. That is nothing but your AI agent. Okay. Now come to the next level. Agentic AI. What it means? For example, I need to design a system. Okay. For example, I need to write a what you can say, yeah. So I need to write some documentation. So documentation is not what we write, right? What we do documentation means we scold our manager, "Arey, why is wasting my time? I am very eager in writing my code than developing my documentation." So that's a different story, right? They have their own uh, goal, because if you move out of project, they should have some backup, right? That's why they'll ask you to prepare document. That's a different story. Let's come back to our topic. So let's say I make it as document. What I will do, I will create a role of, let me take a different color. Let me take blue. Okay, role of author. Okay, you have written. So this is a author agent, agent author. Okay. Now other one is a reviewer. Okay. So this is agent reviewer. What he will do? He will only review the document. He doesn't do, right, anything else. He review the document. Then publisher. He will publish. You will create this agent. And then the marketing, right? Somebody has to market your book, right? That book is this, that book is wonderful. After I reading this one, I've got a nice sleep. All that marketing gimmicks created by these marketing guys. So this agent. So now I have created for this document publication system, I have created 4 agents to perform this documentation publishing. Okay, for example, this is a book publishing, for example. You will be creating different agents, right? And you will orchestrate how these agents should talk to each other. Let's say author, he will tell reviewer, like, okay, I have written my book, you go and review. Then reviewer may ask, what is this one? Then author has to explain the particular topic. Then he will review and finalize and stamp it saying reviewed, right? Like SS Rajamouli, he will put a stamp, SS Rajamouli. Like that, he will put a stamp. Then he will send this to the publisher, and publisher seeks certain details from both reviewer and author. Then he will send it to the marketer, and then marketer has to communicate with all these agents, right? So the system we built with multiple agents, right, to get to some specific goal or objective, right? What is the goal? To publish a book on a certain topic, right? That is a goal. To achieve that, we will be making a agentic AI system. So to simply say, orchestrating or preparing a workflow of agents to create one big system rather than one small specific system or a task. It is nothing but agentic AI system. Okay. Then somebody may ask, sir, why I need these many agents? I'll create only one agent. I will tell everything. You write, you review, you publish, you market. Yes, wonderful question. Why can't we create only one agent or one specific task to publish a book? It is about the efficiency of the system. Okay. So that's why, right, in our company, you can create, you alone create a product, right? Why you need dev? Why you need QA? Why you need a manager, right? Why you need DevOps? Why you need multiple teams? Because each one will have their own responsibility and they master in that particular responsibility so that your output come more effectively or more efficiently. That's the funda behind creating the agentic AI systems. Okay, let me open the slides now. I've given enough theoretical things. Let's see. Not where is this? Okay, let me go to. Okay, see generative AI as I mentioned. So the text, image, audio can also be generated, right? If you say I want a audio in this style, it can generate that audio. Or if you give a text, it can generate that particular audio with respect to the text itself, right? Even these days, few companies working on a dubbing, right? So slowly everybody is moving towards AI only, right? Even for movie dubbing also, they are using AI. So the dubbing will be like a emotional, all the emotions will be carried out by your AI. If you give a text and if you want to make the audio out, right? You just need to mention the happy, sad, or different emotions, right? If you say those emotions, it will generate that audio. Even for dubbing also, they're using AI. And even you might have seen a lot of movies also, right? Where they're using AI to generate the videos. It's not very new for you. Okay. So this is nothing but a generative AI. There are multiple models like text generation. You have a ChatGPT, Gemini. These are the platforms basically, but the underlying models are GPT. And for Gemini, it is Gemini model only. Okay. And for Claude, we have seen Sonnet or some other models. Okay. For image, there is a DALI and Midjourney. For music and video, there are a number of, like for video, there is a Sora from OpenAI and then VEO from Gemini, means Google, I mean to say. Okay. From for code generation, there are multiple GitHub Copilot. On top of it, the existing text generation models can able to generate the code also. Okay. And then if you go to the AI agents, so AI agents are specific to one specific task. It can act also, right? And then you assign a specific role for that particular agent to act on one specific task. Okay, you can assign a very big task also, but when you decompose this task, and you should be able to perform that particular task very well. Okay, now somebody has asked me where the generative AI, can I learn the agentic AI without knowing generative AI? The answer I have said no, because the underlying model, let's say that we have assigned a role, but to whom we have assigned a role? That we have assigned a role to a specific intelligence, right? That intelligence is coming from LLM. LLM is nothing but your generative AI component. That's why these two are interrelated. Okay, so generative AI need not to be only LLM. Okay, generative AI is there even before LLMs. Somebody get confused, sir, is this generative AI is only from LLM or from a chat GPT is coming in picture? The answer is no. Just to make it as an introductory topic, I mentioned LLM, but the generative AI is there before LLM also. Okay, there are some other models. For example, audio, right? The Google audio was there from a very long. They were able to generate certain audio by using certain energy based models. That is a different topic anyway. There are different models like a VAE or different models they use to generate audio, right? There are, other than LLMs, there are certain models which can generate, right? So that is nothing but generative AI and AI agent dependency, right? And then if you go to the agentic AI, you are mixing multiple agents to make the system to achieve very complex goal, right? You are decomposing the problem, then you are trying to achieve that particular problem statement by using a agentic AI system, but the underlying intelligence is coming from LLM or any other model. Okay, have just kept some differentiation at each level. The core function is to generate a new content, right? It cannot act, right? So somebody may get confused, if what if it act, then we are calling simply it as an agent, right? This is just a terminology. Okay, and then agentic AI is as actually a big system which is mix of multiple agents. The agents underlying intelligence comes from the generative AI. Okay, all the two components as part of generative agentic AI. Okay, output single piece of content, right? Here it can perform actions by assigning certain roles, and then in the agentic AI you will use those role assigned agents to perform a bigger task or bigger goal or complex goal. Okay, so now the autonomy here is very low because there is no autonomy, because somebody has to tell you what you need to get, right? Now for the agent, what you are telling, you act on this one to fetch some details, right? It is acting autonomously. Autonomously means with no manual intervention it should be able to get. So I didn't tell you go and hit the weather report website and get me the weather report and from that you answer me. I didn't tell, right? It is acting. That means they have assigned certain role and the certain task for it or certain object for it to perform, right? And for the agent TK, it is very highest because you are clubbing multiple agents to perform a complex role. It is much more autonomy CD comes in, right? And then the analogy, if you look at, so this is like an engine, which is like a LLM or a brain or some kind of intelligence. And then this is like a worker, right? For the intelligence, you are telling how to perform certain tasks. It is a worker basically. And then it is an autonomous manager who manages these workers to build a bigger objective or to achieve bigger objective. Okay, I hope it is clear. Let me address certain queries now. Sorry, I have crossed 5 minutes. I told 9:25, right? We will take few questions in these 5 minutes. Probably I'll enable certain hands, right? Whoever raised their hands, I'll try to give you the mic so that you can ask your questions. Now, I hope it is clear. If not, just put your questions over here in the chat. I'll try to address, but before giving the mic to certain people, let me address if there are any chat questions. Okay, P4, right? First come, first serve. Okay, artificial intelligence. Okay. Augment only. AI is supposed to augment only. Unfortunately, the word AI stuck. Textbook, yeah. LLMs are also taught, sir. Yes. So LLMs are also taught HEMA. Okay, that's where we will be discussing transformed architecture and then what are the components of them. And then we'll be discussing a lot of open source, closed source LLMs, and then how to fine tune them to your specific use case and when to do those also is a very important. Okay, agentic AI, I think, Shravan, I have covered your question. RFI tested. Okay, AI agent versus agentic AI. I hope, Shravan, it is clear now. If not, just let me know. So I'm working on GCP. Can I create agentic AI using it? Absolutely, Seshi. It will be as simple as using any other API. Okay, other than API, nothing changes. So can you please unmute me? I will do one by one. Please hold on for some time. Agentic and advanced agentic AI, Mrs. starting session. So the agentic AI and advanced agentic AI, we would be covering more topics in depth, right? That is where the advanced agentic AI comes in. We will cover different frameworks. Will you teach AI frameworks? Yes, absolutely. What are autonomous agents? Autonomous agents, they can work independently. For example, let's take an example. Let's say you have done the vehicle, right? Let's say you know Tesla cars, right? You need not to tell that particular AI agent when there is some obstacle, you need to brake. And then when that obstacle is removed, you can go, right? It is taking the decision making. It is doing the decision making by itself, right? By looking at the environment, by looking at the surroundings, it could able to take the decisions by itself. Okay. If you know data science, for example, like I have a huge data set. I wanted to process the missing values. Let's say in one column, let's say age column, there are a lot of values missing. There is no age, right? Then what you do, you use your brain and you say that okay, the missing values are less than 10%, so that I will remove that particular rows. Okay, this is one way. If this is more than 10%, then you will may replace with median or mode or whatever, right? That is one way. The other way you use some other model, regression model, to fill those missing values, right? You have three different things. But how that particular thing is coming to your mind, because you have some exposure, how to perform that activity, right? But with the AI, I can build the system. It can take those decisions by itself and it can build that data by itself, right? That is autonomous. It can need not to guided by someone. The AI, by looking at the or by the learning itself, it can take its own decisions. That is nothing but autonomous agents. Okay. And absolutely generated, don't have knowledge on ML, even I am eligible for this course. Yeah, Krishna, if you want to upskill, so one more thing, if you mean upskill means you know something already, right? So if you know something, then upskill with this course is very much possible. Okay, sir, I'm production support. Okay, so the questions are coming after 9:34. So let's give priority for the few people who raised the hand at 9:30. So let's give. I don't know whether this particular hand raise is in the priority order, but let me pick randomly. Right? Sorry if I miss some of you. Okay, but you have definitely. We are in touch throughout the course. Right? You can always ask the question. Let me randomly pick because there are a lot many hand raises. Okay, I'm giving to Nikhil.
Oh, thank you, Prudhvi sir. Thank you very much, and a very good evening. Am I
Uh,
audible?
yeah, yes, Nikhil.
Sir, actually, I'm a data scientist. I have experience more than no, close to 8 years in that. So, uh, right now I'm giving interviews.
Hmm.
So, in the interviews, the problem is like that I am clearing everything except the generative AI.
Hmm.
So, when they ask question about generating AI, I unfortunately have to say no,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that is the main requirement. So the first question is when we do this course, how long it will take me to get just a basic understanding of generative AI, since I know neural network, artificial neural network, uh, and all the majority of the machine learning algorithm, but except generative AI. So that is the one of the major roadblocker for me for clearing the interview. This is the first question.
Okay. If you want to ask your next question also, that's fine. You finish up your thought process.
No, I will ask the question after you answer. Will that be
Okay.
okay?
So this course is, I can say, 100% apt for you. This is not just to. I'm not telling this is because you wanted. I wanted you to join this course, but if you know the data science and the basics of neural network and artificial intelligence, in a month, I think you can clear your generative AI interviews.
Uh, Thank you. So that is the first question. The second question, actually, I have. So I read about generative AI.
Hmm.
I have some basic understanding about it, and when I read that, I came to know there is a lot of theory in that. So
Lot of.
while the theoretical part,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
fine tuning,
Hmm.
RAG, and some
Hmm.
other process.
Hmm.
So when you explain that, so whatever I know, I read about RAG, I read about fine tuning, and
Hmm.
some of the other models also how they work, how the LLM works, and
Hmm.
how make the model 100 billion parameters or 10 billion parameters. So when you give this course, I think it will be good to take a note. So I will take a note, but as you will explain sometime, I may
Yeah.
fall behind that. So,
Hmm.
will you be providing that notes where it covers what is, as you say, agents, means there will be a lot of agents available,
Hmm.
and we will building a model which is previously built, and on top of that, we will building model, and there will be rack system, there will be agents which will be used in the particular our LLM model. So there will be many things like that. So I might miss that. So there will be notes about each and every descriptive topic.
Yes. Every topic will have like maybe you will have this particular like a slides, right? On top of it, you will have the material. Like material means code, whatever you will be performing, whatever I will be showing. On top of it, I will be giving the external guidances also, like books or certain references, certain articles, right, which are being published. That would help you to expose the additional topics also, if you want to go for those additional uh,
Okay.
called additional material or additional concepts what you want to learn. And if you have specific questions or queries, then you can reach out to me also. I'll be guiding you through those additional topics.
Okay. So by taking notes, I have to take the notes when you will speak at that point in time only. Okay,
Yes,
thank
you keep on taking the notes. Okay.
okay.
So I hope as you are all are very matured, right? I don't want you to guide to take the notes. It looks more premature as per me, but yeah. So but I will definitely today, right? I though I am speaking, I try to write the notes so that it will register in your mind, right? So generally I'll try to note down, right? And then when we cover the previous class topics, I'll try to note down and keep that notes running in the same word pad. I'll keep on running the notes by noting down the date and then everything, and then all the code, all the material, or whatever PP presentations I'll keep, or the external material you need, I'll keep on posting in the Google Classroom.
Okay. So my third question, so I'm asking a lot of question. I have a lot of doubts from yesterday. So the third question, when to use generative AI and when not to use generative AI. You might be aware about Deloitte case where they use generative AI for Australia's government research, and then they get a very serious backlash. They just, so I want to know when to use generative AI and when not to use generative AI, because uh, that will sometimes will be a problematic thing if we,
Yeah, it depends on the use case to use case, Nikhil. For example, these days, I don't know whether you observed it or not, lot of enterprises allowing their employees to do the vibe coding. I don't know how many of you know this terminology. Vibe coding means you can use AI to code your specific solution to some extent, because AI can help you around to expedite your coding to 80% or 85%. Remaining 15% you have to spend your time to tune here and there. But you can develop a solution pretty fast. Whatever you develop in 6 months also, you can develop in 1 month. Let's say if it is 1 month, you can do it in 1 or 2 days also to some use cases. So some people are allowing a vibe coding, right? Means y- you can develop the code along with your regular code development, right? But do you think everybody allows it? No. The answer is no. Probably in certain use cases, they need to declare saying this is AI generated content. Right? Somebody you might have seen say they disclaim that this is AI generated because they know there could be some complications. Right? But in the Deloitte's case, probably I shouldn't be picking up that name, but as you bring up that name, so that is very confidential thing what they have done by using AI. That the problem is they in the scope of work or somewhere they might have. mentioned not to use this, not to expose this data, that data and all, but when they use it, they might have, the implicit condition is they might have exposed the data to the outside world, right, by using AI, or unless they use only inbuilt some open source, but it is very subjective, right? So it is subjective to use case, agreement to agreement, and all of that. It depends on what is your scope of work and when to use, when not to use. It is not
Yes,
that,
my
yeah, you could use AI anywhere subjected to your guidelines. Right? For example, I have
yes.
given you an assignment. If you use
Mm,
AI, there is no point in giving assignment, right? But in your
right.
work, you could use AI because now the investors are not looking at whether you know the code or not. They need the end result. Whether you finish it in 1 week or learning everything, if you develop in 6 months, there is no point in giving in 6 months. They wanted you to use AI to code.
In my last company, actually, they did not allow AI because it with healthcare, it might be problematic. So all the codes and all the automations which I used to write, I have to write it by myself itself and not using AI
Hmm,
because of the certain problem, since I was
absolutely.
curious when to use it and when to not use this. One last question. So this might be out of the scope of this. So I have experience in data science and machine learning algorithm, but I have that experience on Python and Jupyter Notebook,
Hmm.
and previously on R, no exposure on AWS or Azure or cloud. So I was looking for something. Since I do have experience, I'm looking for some course where I can use AWS or Azure and GCP to know to only cloud. Whether every machine learning algorithm, including neural network or initial neural network, I'm already aware about that. But just to get to know about the cloud itself. So, do you have any recommendation for me? Any course?
So if you want to, because again, this is very broad answer, because certain organizations, right? Let's say if you go to Middle East, okay, in the Middle East, most of the organizations are allowed to use only Azure, because with the government there is some agreement. I don't know what exact agreement, but they have allowed only the Azure to be part of the Middle East, but they don't allow any AWS or anybody else. And if you go to some other countries, they will allow only AWS. In those cases, they will restrict you to use specific cloud things. But if you look at this course specifically, this course is platform agnostic. There is no platform dependency because we will mostly be using certain APIs. But if you ask me what course you can learn about Azure or AWS, I will advise you to take certain DevOps kind of a course where they will cover different cloud platforms and how to manage the cloud also in the specific courses.
In the DevOps cloud platform, I'm already learning, but they are thinking how to create a server, how to create uh, Jenkins, Maven, Kubernetes, Kubernetes.
Hmm.
But that is from the DevOps side, right? I am from the data science side. I want to use SageMaker or S3 or Amazon DB, something like that. Aren't they different? Isn't it different?
So if you want to learn how to build or how to build the auto ML specific things, right?
Hmm.
At that time, I'm not sure. I think if there are any customized courses in Udemy or some kind of other platforms, you go for it. But generally, right, these are very specific training courses required by a few, very few people. Right? That's why the courses
Yes.
predominantly will be e-learning courses only. The the offline courses are very limited, to my knowledge. But if somebody is giving certain trainings on specific platforms like SageMaker or Bedrock or certain platforms, you can go and opt. As per my knowledge, it is maybe e-learning. Somebody, Ramakrishna has typed, they are doing ML Ops course in Naresh IT. You can reach out to our admin. They might guide you.
That is complete ML ops, right? Complete machine learning, not
Yeah.
only just
I'm
I
not
know.
pretty sure on that ML
Okay,
ops, what course. Probably you can ask the admin to give you the course content. You will look at the course content and you will get to know what they might be doing. And you join certain demo classes, you would be knowing what they will be taking you through.
Okay.
Okay.
One
Sorry,
last
Nikhil, with the
question.
interest of time, let's take
Yes,
few
yes,
more
okay. So
because
just one,
you know, right?
just two
Somebody
minutes.
might
Yes,
get upset
just
if we
one,
don't
one
give
line,
certain
just
things.
one line,
Yeah.
just one line. Since you will be giving projects,
Mhm.
I am aware about that.
Mhm.
So can you give some project uh, in advance itself? So since I know machine learning and other stuff, I
Yeah,
might
you.
try
I have
from my
already
side.
given the capstone project, the titles. Okay, you can start working on those projects.
Where can I find it?
So that's what in the WhatsApp group, the content course content will be published. Please join the WhatsApp group. They will be giving you the
Okay,
projects.
I have joined the course center. I have taken too much of time, but I have a lot of doubts. Sorry for that. I apologize.
No problem, Nikhil. Okay, let's take. I'll take two more. Sorry for uh, not taking too many. Let me take. I don't know whom to take. Let me take Praneeth. Okay, I'm randomly taking. Sorry, guys, if I don't pick your name. Praneeth, go ahead. Okay, Praneeth. I don't know whether he knows. Okay, Praneeth has
Hi.
unmuted.
Hello.
Hey, Praneeth.
Hi. Sir, like, I just wanted to I'm very curious about this course. I have like 5 years of experience in the full stack as a
Hmm?
.NET developer. So I just wanted to know, are you like providing anything in the front end development where generative AI or agentic force can be useful in my portfolio to upgrade my skills for like future job purposes?
Okay, so here we will be building a generic framework which can be applied for your own specific domain or your work stream. Okay, because let's say if I see cursor.ai, right? There you can ask to develop, give me some front end, right? But this course, if you want to look at how to build UI, or let's say some other Node.js or some other Angular, I won't be teaching those, unfortunately. But if you're looking that kind of a skill, no, I am not teaching that here. I will be teaching the how you can use AI to build certain UI front end for you than writing by yourself. That I could teach you. Does it
Okay.
answer your question?
Yes, yes. I was like looking more into like how this can be helpful for my future purpose. So I thought of asking like, is there anything that specific which is not mentioned you'll be teaching apart from that?
No. So I'll be more honest. Okay. So I'll be telling you what I will be teaching.
Okay.
Okay, somebody may make false promises, but up to them, it's up to them. But I'll be teaching, I'll be more honest, and I'll be teaching you whatever I have promised. Probably that's where I have told you the Python and the some basics. Maybe somebody asked neural network, but some intro I can give you. But beyond, going beyond this course content, right, it may extend the timeline, which may defeat the purpose for others.
Okay.
Okay, so I let me pick one more. Okay, let me see. Krishna. Let me pick Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prudhvi. I'll not take much time. So, just one quick question. So, what's the major difference between these two courses? That is advanced generative AI versus full stack data science and AI course. The reason why I'm asking is I have experience with Copilot Studio developing some generative AI in that arena. So I wanted to make sure which one will be a good fit for me to upskill my career. So
Okay, I
ये
will.
क्वेश्चन अर्थ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
So I'm
yes.
just trying to pull the course content of DS and machine learning. Basically, DS and machine learning yesterday, as I explained, so it covers more on how you make the data ready for a model training in terms of a structured data. That is a majorly data science. Machine learning, they are very primitive. I won't say very primitive. They are the models which works for your structured data, basically. Okay, and then the generative AI involves neural networks, right? Where you need to build a lot of advanced models to understand a lot of context or a lot of content in the market. The market means in the web or wherever. Let me unmute. Somebody muted. Okay. Okay. So now, if you look at the, let me pull that here. What course content I have for ML? So that probably I'll share that one. You go through the DS and ML course content also. You clearly see what level of course is covered in the DS and machine learning, and then what is covered in generative AI. Generative AI is a little more advanced, where these models are built on top of neural networks, right? And the primitive on the basics of the ground for AI is what we will be covering as part of DS and the machine learning, our full stack data science course. If you club both, if you learn these two courses, I think you can crack any course in the, sorry, any interview, whatever upcoming for you guys. Unfortunately, if you know generative AI, they may ask you data science, they may ask you machine learning also. Okay. Oh, Krishna, hope it answered your question.
Yeah,
Probably,
yeah. I was
probably,
trying to unmute, but somehow it is not
yeah.
working. But
We'll go.
yeah,
Don't worry. If we, even it doesn't address, you will get to know when we go deep into the topics, and then we'll give
sure.
you lot many examples.
Yeah, no. Okay, Prudhvi. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all for today. So sorry, whoever raised your hand. With the interest of time, we already crossed 20 minutes past the class time, right? So we'll keep on discussing your questions. Keep asking questions. Don't hesitate. Either through chat or through any other platform. What we will be keep on connecting, right? So I'll try to address as many as possible. Okay. Thank you all. Let's catch up tomorrow. Bye.